Hello, everyone. So thanks for coming here today. So obviously this is the segment for the London and South East LDC. So welcome, everyone's turned up on the day. We've got 4 of us currently from the LDC here today. Obviously the others couldn't make it. I am Perry Hazel. I'm the current chair of the London and South East LDC. We haven't actually got a vice chair at the moment. We've had quite a few apologies today, but we'll go around the table anyway. If Nathan, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm Nathan French from ASD Lighting, the Director of Street Line.
Paul?
Paul Batesman, Business Development Manager, Marwood Electrical, past Chairman, ILP London and South East.
Right.
Ryan McGibbon, Southwark Council, Electrical and Street Lighting Delivery Manager.
So we've chucked Ryan in the deep end today because I think it's actually your official first committee meeting.
It is, yeah.
So just for a tester, straight out live. So no swearing. We're on Channel 4. So for today, it was more about a bit of an introduction. Unfortunately, we couldn't get everyone here, but it was about a chat, maybe going through the past year, what we've done. I know with COVID and bits and bobs, there's not been loads going on. We had an absolute great event in the Southwark Cathedral in Feb. I don't think anyone was ill too far after that, so I think we were safe for a couple of weeks. And we also had a really good event at Arup. Did any of you guys go to the Arup event previous to that? No, I didn't attend that either. No, but I know obviously it was really good in the cathedral. So I think running on from that, it was just having a couple of key points and running through some of the topical suggestions of the industry at the moment. I suppose EV being one of them, electric vehicle charge points.
Yep, it's your favourite subject.
It is. I think probably Ryan's more than mine. I know he's heavily involved in the installation of them.
Yeah.
Topical in your borough, very much so.
Yeah, we've been quite proactive, haven't we, Ryan, with installations to date?
We have, yeah. We've got nearly 100 points that are currently out there live within the street lighting posts, as well as standalone. So that's been a challenge. Obviously, challenging getting the earthing arrangement correct from a PME, TNCS to a TT system. So that's been challenging, but we've got the desired numbers that we needed, and it's been very well received around the borough, especially with Chargy and Ubitricity before that. So yeah, it's been really, really positive, and they want us to install more and more. So hopefully we get some more funding.
Funding seems quite proactive at the moment. I know currently there's funding out for ORCS, so it's coming through London councils, but the same sort of OLEV funding as the GULCS side of it, the Go Ultra Low City scheme that was out last year. So I think there's plenty of funding around for especially residential charging at the moment. Anything you guys are looking into, Nath, Paul, manufacturing wise?
Not so much at the moment.
We have a few irons in a few pots, looking at what we can do in terms of developing sort of more of an integrated system. I'll keep my powder dry a little bit because I've probably got some ears pricked up for a moment there, and I'll let them prick themselves back down. But you know, we've spoken to you guys just to get some advice on a few areas, and I think we have got something that'll be coming out in the near future.
At the moment, we're concentrating on the infrastructure side of things, the feeder pillars and the links to the actual charge units, and the companies doing that. So.
Getting them powered up, Paul.
Yeah,
it's always key.
Can I ask in Southwark then, how are you getting on in terms of take up? Are they being used a lot? Can you see what usage you're getting out of the equipment you're putting in?
We can, right, can't we? We've got the link in from our manufacturers. If I'm honest, it's not great at the moment. The big users seem to be the black taxi drivers, unbelievably so. So massive users on that, as you can imagine. Some of the installations we've put in have been very low uptake, but then, like me and Ryan have discussed about it separately, it's very chicken and egg. Are you going to go and buy an expensive electric vehicle if you've not got the infrastructure to charge it at home? So that's been a key part of the whole drive, and I think that's probably why they were match funding a lot of the capital, or a lot of the capital funding's been put forward for that reason, getting the infrastructure in place first.
And the black cabs.
innovative products though. We've been doing some work with a manufacturer. They've got some Innovate Funding UK or Innovate UK funding for induction charging. So we've actually got a workable prototype now. But yeah, we did find out how much it weighed the other day, and I think it's going to be a little bit of an issue getting it in without the use of an IAB, put it that way.
So is that a plate then, effectively?
It's pretty much a big, it was a big copper coil, wasn't it, that you sink into the ground. So it's just with all the weight limits and bits that you need. We've had issues with the camber of the road and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been definitely a struggle. It's going in within a test environment first. But yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to see these rolling out big time on the highway yet. But it's good. You obviously, you don't need the plugging in, plugging out. You can, if you put 3 or 4 in, you could queue the charging. Let others come in, others go out. So it's definitely, in a concept, great to see if it works. What about smart city applications? Anyone got anything going at the moment?
Again, that's quite slow to pick up. Trying to sort out what to do with what. There's lots of little bits out there, lots of different proposed usages, but it's knowing which way it's going to head and consolidate into one use. It seems a bit, VHS Betamax to me. There's lots of different things, and until it settles down, we won't really know. But
showing your age there, Paul.
Yes.
Blu-ray high. DVD for me, Paul.
So we'll explain to you later what a DVD is. Yeah, I went to the Smart Cities event in Barcelona, either earlier this year or late last year. I saw a really interesting paper. Actually, sat with a few people from the UK, from Microsoft, that were doing kind of a lot of work on their platforms and showing what they're investing. And Microsoft were investing about $5 billion over a 2-3 year period in smart cities. The idea being, when I leave my house in the morning at 8:30 and I turn right, the kind of the type of information they've got from your mobile phones and what they can use from the platform means that chances are on a Monday morning, if I turn right, I'm heading off to this office. They're collecting the same sort of data and information from everybody, so they can start to look at whether or not they can then integrate that into your city, so into your traffic lights, into your lighting. So there's going to be a rush of demand heading for Southwark on Monday morning at 8:30. They're picking up your normal usage and saying, actually, what we need to do is either slow down the traffic through traffic lights, speed it up through traffic lights. Potentially then, if it's on an evening, you're thinking, well, actually, the increased lighting levels because you've got more cars in that area, and using it that way. And it was a really interesting concept, because I think a number of manufacturers, we've all kind of are able to adapt to whichever systems come forward, and some of the large manufacturers maybe have their own systems in place. But I think when you look at the likes of Microsoft and what they're doing with things like Microsoft Teams and local authorities, consultants, manufacturers, we're all geared up for Microsoft. So I think if they do come out with something that is a really workable platform and are able to integrate some things, I think we'll see a massive shift in the direction of when smart cities actually starts to become more than a buzzword into reality. I mean, like lots of probably other manufacturers, we've got quite a lot of Zaga orders and projects going out with Zaga sockets, lots of obviously CMS stuff, and some of those CMS manufacturers are investing a lot into kind of additional components that add onto their system.
Yeah, a lot of the smart city ready type applications, but we're not sure what we want to use it for yet. Yeah, funnily enough, speaking about Microsoft, we was approached, or our digital infrastructure board were approached by Microsoft more around, I think, the social housing aspect and some of the I think there is your system that they got in regards to estate management and that sort of thing. I think highways is definitely going to be next, though. It won't be far away. Yeah,
because that Microsoft Azure, but they're also talking about integrating it into sort of some of the AI, which is their artificial intelligence, and that's where they're linking into your mobile phones to see what data you can collect in terms of people and movement towards certain locations, and that could be whether it be traffic flow or pedestrian flow.
So it's not just Microsoft that are doing that either. We've got some data from a big cellular or a mobile communications company, And that's exactly that. They track your phone movement, and they will work out your start journey and where you finish up. And weirdly enough, they'd mentioned London Bridge as an example, and it was something like 40% of the people had started from Croydon. So, I don't know, we've got an influx of people from Croydon going up to the city at the moment using London Bridge, but yeah, it makes you think, and then you drill down and who are they and what do they do, and is it London taxi drivers, and you start to look at the journeys and how long they're going and where are they stopping, where are they charging if they're EVs now. It's quite interesting. It's just knowing what to do with the data, isn't it? Bit of a struggle at the moment. And if you guys, I suppose COVID's been a big hit. I haven't really seen anything around smart city application assisting COVID related matters at the moment. Anyone else heard anything?
No, not really. No.
No, I did listen to one presentation from a local authority, and I actually asked the question because they've got some adaptive lighting, and I actually asked the question with obviously the lack of traffic flow or the reduced traffic flow at the moment, are they using their adaptive lighting in line of that with that? And the ironic answer was no, they're not at this moment in time. But it was the same sort of thought process, because we've had a spell where the roads would have been extremely quiet. And if you've got adaptive lighting, then perhaps maybe we had the opportunity to reduce some lighting levels based on traffic flow. And I was kind of surprised that the authority in question hadn't kind of moved that forward when they had the kit to do it on certain roads. And I thought it would have been a fairly decent trial, but that was really early on in the process, and I suspect afterwards they've started to look at something like that.
I think that was the issue, wasn't it, Ryan? We had a massive pressure in regards to local authority for us, in not just the COVID related get everyone out of work and get everyone back into work, but we were we assisted a lot of people with the food deliveries and PPE deliveries.
Definitely.
Didn't we, Ryan? A lot of our stuff.
Yeah, went to other local authorities around London and done big deliveries of food and PPE. So yeah, that was a lot of different kind of pressures. Obviously, getting a different team, your team to do something different. So it was quite good to be involved in that.
And was there pressure to work on difficult sites during that quietening down, or?
It was. I think a lot of it was to do with the staff members who obviously at the time were worried about COVID. So reassuring them that they're doing a fantastic deed for other local authorities and that they were going to be safe as well. So yeah, there was a massive demand at that time.
And a big challenge for you, Roy, managing all of that remotely at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that was difficult, And it was changing every day. So, 1 minute they're saying it could be 100 parcels, next minute it could be 1,000 parcels. It was, forever changing on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, it was challenging working from home, interactively trying to talk to the guys. But yeah, we got it done somehow.
What about you, Paul? How have you found moving to a virtual platform?
We found it really efficient, actually. It's been really, really very good. There's real efficiencies in there. Yeah, obviously you miss some of the face-to-face contact, undoubtedly, but generally, I think there is perhaps an argument that things may have moved in this direction naturally anyway, in terms of efficiency and technology. And I think this has just brought it forward in a much quicker fashion. But yeah,
we just can't enjoy the beers after, even if it is 1:45 on a Wednesday afternoon.
I've got beer just off. Ironically, I've probably seen more people in terms of video conferencing than I was doing sort of prior to it. I think Paul's correct. I think it's going to have acted as a massive catalyst. We've sort of seen, as our business, we've got 20 plus guys on the road in different sectors of different markets. Obviously, there's a massive reduction in the amount of travel time that's going on with that. So I think there's concerns throughout sales guys from probably every company out there as to, if half of their time is spent in a car normally, and that half of the time is gone, what happens in the future? So we kind of adapted a policy really early doors. We were already just about rolling out Teams anyway. For us, it sped up the process. And for the street lighting sales guys that we've got, guys and girls, sorry, Marianne, we really had a real kind of good long chat about it and said, look, we've got to, even though some of us probably a slightly older generation of sales guy, we said we've really got to get stuck into it and not kind of get left behind with this technology, and adapt, because I think the whole thing at the moment is adapting to what you can do. And I suspect when we're talking to some of the local authorities, they're being told they're probably not going back to their offices for the near future, a good 6 months. And I think in some of the really older buildings where they're going to struggle with social distancing, I think there's going to be sort of some ongoing concerns there. So like most, we've kind of adapted to it. You've got to take on board a bit of new technology, give it a go. Most of the people we've spoken to have been working from home. Even quite a few people, even if their computer doesn't have the webcam, you can still get several people in a call effectively at the same time. So that's quite good. And these backgrounds mean that people don't know, Perry, that your bed's behind you. So
Yeah.
He's got a really nice bedroom, by the way, guys.
I've had some embarrassing moments when there's been pieces of underwear splayed around there. What's that in the background? All quick, blow your screen as quick as you can. No, it's been it's been difficult, and then I know the guys at Rugby have done an unbelievable job in regards to the CPD delivery and keeping just everyone in the loop, because I think when it happened initially, it was just a nightmare. You didn't know who was on furlough, who was into work, who's been redeployed. Just the whole, not knowing what you're doing and where you're doing and what people are up to has been really difficult. So I think the team at Rugby definitely deserve a pat on the back for what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Up until even this, and organising this sort of event.
I agree. Now, I was talking to a customer on would have been Friday last week, and she was saying the same thing. She's been attending kind of the Monday sessions, and I've heard quite a few people comment on how good the sort of CV sharing project is, so that people can share their CVs if they've potentially been made redundant, because I think there's as we all know, we've all got a lot of friends in different whether they're a competitor of mine or not, we've got a lot of friends out there, and everybody wants to see everybody in a job at the end of the day. So I think the CV sharing scheme will also be a really useful tool to a lot of people.
I think it's all about that flexibility and adapting. It doesn't matter whether it's business, organisation, charity, or local authority. It's just branching into different things, possibly outside of your comfort zone, but really future-proofing yourself, really, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And I think it'll be things like this, whether we move on to online seminars, summits, or hybrid versions of what we've always done, and having a certain amount of people turn up and the others are there virtually. I think it will definitely help going forward in regards to attendance. You say live attendance to things like this. It's a lot easier to rock up in your pants at your desk and listen to a CPD seminar than it might have been traipsing all the way into the London or down to Southampton for some, or up to Cambridge. It's quite a large area we cover. So I think it's been great in that sense that a lot more participation's been happening over the last couple of months. I suppose it might just be in any other business then. Anyone else got anything they think they can or would like to discuss for the region or LDC?
I think the future's fairly unknown, isn't it, at this point in time? Sadly.
Yeah. Future's dark. We can't say that, Paul. Well, thanks for everyone anyway. It's been great. I know there's only been a few of us, but it's been great to chat to everyone. I think next up after this, we've got the YLP quiz hosted by London's very own Matthew Fisher. So I suppose if everyone can just make sure they stay on and enjoy that, hopefully catch up in the next couple of months. Cheers, guys. Speak soon.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Cheers.